everybody, I'm Lorii Abela, your Soulmate Expert and Asian Matchmaker. Welcome to tonight's episode of Matchmaker Secrets, where we talk about love, dating, and relationships, and of course, matchmaking. Today is no other day which is different from the different things that we have done. We're always curious about different things, and it's interesting because they say that there's no expiration date as far as love is concerned. And tonight, we're proving it. Every now and then, we meet singles who are in their 70s or 80s, and they remind us that the heart never retires. And on this episode, we sit down with an nth-year-old guest who's showing us all that it's never too late to look for love or to find it. So our guest tonight is Richard Granston. He is originally from Argentina, or maybe Argentina. He's a graduate from Northwestern University in psychology and neuroscience. He's a lifelong entrepreneur and has been in different industries such as advertising, immediate care medical clinics, and recently in AI and robotics to construction. So how are you, Richard?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, so I'm so glad to have you over here. So I met Richard from another event, and it's a networking event. And so I was so surprised when I saw him because he told me he's a secret age. And then maybe you can tell us, what is your secret that you are looking so amazing, and have you actually found the fountain of youth?
Well, thank you for your kind words. Actually, there is a sequence that I follow that seems to work, for me anyway. I'll say it's in three parts. One is I'm in the gym a lot, or biking, or running, or something. You need to be physically active. That's absolutely essential. That's the most important thing. The second thing has to do with nutrition. All processed foods are terrible for you. Simple as that. So the idea is to stick with things like grass-fed beef, wild-caught fish, fresh vegetables, avoiding sugar. We all love sugar. I love sugar too, but I avoid it because it's really not good for you in any amount. So sugar's a problem. You have to avoid things like seed oils. The only oils that should go into your system would be butter, olive oil, coconut oil, and unrefined avocado oil. That's it. Any other oil is bad for you, okay? In addition to that, because vegetables no longer have the nutritional components they used to have because of things are hybridized to have a long shelf life, and air and light deteriorate the nutritional value. Also, vegetables don't have the trace minerals they used to have, right? So you have to take supplements to make up for that. Now, there are two other magic chemicals which are important. When you're young, I'll use a quick analogy. Think of the cells in your body as little tiny apples. Your body produces a substance, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, let's say NAD for short, and that keeps your apples nice and crispy. The problem is when you hit your 20s, your apples begin to rot. That's a problem, right? So how do we deal with this problem? One is you have to replace NAD. So you can take NAD, which is different ways of getting it. You can take supplements like nicotinamide mononucleotide or nicotinamide riboside. You're going to have to take notes. Those things actually, in combination with resveratrol, make your body produce NAD again, and that makes your apples crispy again. Now, how do you get rid of the apples that are rotting, which they are? That's what aging is. Your little apples rot. There are two great ways of dealing with that. One is you work out to failure. You exercise until you can't do anymore except do more. When you do that, there are proteins that are released. They're like Pac-Man, and they gobble up the rotten apples. The other way is fasting. You've heard a lot about intermittent fasting. The longer you can fast, the better. At least 16 hours. But when you get to 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours of not eating, your body now begins to produce stem cells and human growth hormone, which is fantastic. I mean, look, I'm an old man. I'm 83. I feel great. Nothing hurts. I'm never tired. And I don't have any illnesses. So in my particular case, the formula I gave you apparently works pretty well.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
That's a mouthful, I'm sorry.
No, I like it because, like, you know, you were able to describe everything, like, you know, what you're doing so that, you know, to make it work for you. But, you know, obviously, I can see it in your face.
Well, you know, there's a lot available on the web.
That's
YouTube videos, TikTok, there are all kinds of things now available that actually elaborate on what I just told you.
That's right.
So I think this consensus, I didn't invent any of this stuff, but there's a great deal out there.
All right.
So people can research it and see what works for them.
That's right. So for you, like, you know, you're in your 80s. So what is your typical day like for you now? Any routines you swear by?
I work, you know, I'm not retired, you know that. And currently, I'm very excited about what I'm doing, which is we're using artificial intelligence and robots to build houses. We can build a house in a week, which is rather unusual. And it's an evolving technology. We're getting better and better, and AI keeps getting better and better. So I'm pretty involved with that. But I do manage to work out every day, whether it's the gym, bike trail, whatever. I also paint. I oil paint, and I do watercolors. So that's my therapy. I paint. So typical day is that, but then I socialize a lot. I have a lot of friends, which I'm very fortunate. That's very important, by the way, in life, in vitality. Your social connections, your family, pretty important.
Okay, sounds good to me. So, because, like, you know, my show is about dating. So can you tell us, are you currently dating? And
Sure.
if so, what kind of woman catches your eyes nowadays?
Well, you know, when you get older, you get a lot pickier, I think. Not that I have any right to be picky, but I'll tell you exactly what qualities I value a lot. Intellect is a big deal because you have to be able to have interesting discussions, communication. You can't just look at each other. Curiosity is a big deal. Isn't it wonderful to have somebody, let's look into that, let's go over there, let's try this, what about that? So curiosity is kind of a big deal to me. You got to throw in wit. We all love to laugh. So that's important. Because I'm very active, you know, I snowboard, I mountain bike, I mountain climb. I look for someone who's athletic. They have to be athletic. Tragically, and I'm sure there are exceptions, there are not that many 83-year-old women that will snowboard down a double diamond run with me. Actually, not that many people, period. But the thing is, I like someone that can keep up. That's a big deal to me. And then lastly, but very importantly, is kindness. Kindness is a big deal. How people treat other people is a real good tell.
Somebody who can catch up with you. So do you think, like, you know, you can find them in the 70s, those kind of women, or like lower than 70s?
Again, most people, men or women, past a certain age, are not really good at snowboarding down steep runs.
That's right.
So I'm not discriminating at age. It just has to do with your ability to. Somebody showed me a picture of a 70-year-old woman that's an amazing dancer. So it exists.
That's
I haven't
right.
met her yet,
That's
but
right.
I guess they exist. But I haven't run into them.
Yeah, that's right. Because, like, that's what I was thinking. Somebody who has been, like, you know, physically active ever since they were young. Maybe they were dancing or they were already into Pilates or yoga.
Yeah, no,
and so
I'm
they're
sure it
stretchable.
exists.
Yeah,
I have not yet
yeah, I would imagine, yes.
found that,
Yes.
but I'm sure it's out there.
Okay. How has your approach to love changed from your 20s to your 80s?
It isn't so much approach, it's the way life works now. Like when I was in my 20s, like college or right after college, in college, I think people were looking for who they were going to marry and have kids with back then. We're talking about a long time ago. Also, women were very passive. I mean, they didn't approach you. You had to approach them 100% of the time. And that's changed quite a bit. Women are far more aggressive now about making it clear, when are we going to get together? Let's go get coffee together and talk. So that's been a slow process, but that's changed quite a bit. But again, 20s, people that are 20 today are not like people that were 20 in 1960, okay? So back then, women generally, the expected role was, I'm gonna get married, have kids, and I'm gonna be a housewife. That doesn't really exist anymore. So the world has changed rather dramatically. I'm not saying it's for the better or worse, it's just different. But women certainly are far more clear if they're interested in somebody, where before it was they would check with a friend to find out if they knew somebody to try to make an arrangement. Now it's very direct. Hey, how come you haven't asked me out? Would be an example. Yeah. So things have changed.
So women have started to tell you such things?
Oh, I think, yeah, compared to back then, women are far more upfront, which is great.
Okay.
It saves a lot of time.
That's right. What's the biggest dating myth people believe about older men, you think?
Boy, I don't know that you can make that kind of a generalization because it's so personal. I mean, I know people that are 30 that act like they're 90-year-old, like life is over. And I know people that are in their 70s that are pretty energetic. So I'm not sure I can, it's such a tremendous range of energy, so I don't have a good answer for you. Obviously, women think that when people get older, they're certainly spent, they lack enthusiasm. I'll tell you, in some cases, people that are older and single means they've had disappointments in the relationships. And there's a certain defensiveness. It's like a dog that's been beaten, So there's they're flinchy, so that men and women. So that's a problem. And some people overcome that nervousness based on their unfortunate past experiences. And some are totally adapt well. We're all different. That's the reality.
Okay. So you said earlier that you married late in life. What made you decide, this is the time that I should have a relationship?
I had really nothing to do with it, I'll tell you. But I was busy building a business because I've always been entrepreneurial. And a guy that worked for me, a general manager at an advertising agency at the time, he said, Richard, you're not getting any younger. And he said, you're not going to be marketable much longer. So if you're ever going to have a family, you better pick somebody. And I thought, I think he's right. Okay. So then I did get married and I had kids.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so it was kind of a push that way.
Okay, so you have a motivational push.
I was very focused on my business, which worked out pretty well. So
yeah. So if you can give one piece of love advice to men in their 30s, what would it be?
I think it would be to anybody, observational. I'm not telling people what they should be doing.
That's right.
I'll just give you my observation. When I'm in a restaurant and I see people together, or other situations, usually the man, whether he's young or old, he's auditioning. He's trying to impress the women, hoping to get to some particular objective. They talk the whole time. The women can't get a word in edgewise, and that's a problem. Listening is a really good idea. And often people don't know how to initiate a conversation, how to get something out of somebody. It's easier to listen to somebody talk than to talk for many people. But it's a skill one develops, and how do you get people to talk about themselves? I think that's really a good way to conduct oneself, rather than say, I'm so great, aren't I wonderful, hoping that the woman will respond. I think, unfortunately, in dating situations, often people will wear a mask, right?
That's right.
The problem with a mask is that it may serve your purposes in initially creating a relationship, but over time, that mask is going to come off and the real person will reveal themselves. So you're better off being honest about who you are right from the beginning.
Yeah, I like that. Because that's right. A lot of people, like, have been listening to all those men's guru who will, teach you how to manipulate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what you should say. Here's what should be. Yeah, but then you're acting out. You're not being who you are. And I understand people feel awkward sometimes.
That's right. So, what's more important to you now? So, is it the emotional connection, the physical chemistry, or the shared values?
A little bit of a complicated question. The thing is, you walk in a room and you know who you're attracted to and you're not attracted to. And that's kind of a magic thing. However, I think it's definable in a couple of ways. You may be aware, all living things radiate an energy field. It's measurable.
That's
it's like you can have a Geiger counter and you can measure the energy field in all living things, whether it's a plant or an animal. And I think we pick up on each other's energy fields. Also, we are part of the animal kingdom. Scent plays a major role. We're not aware of that, of the pheromone thing, but it's real. And those things kind of, maybe it's nature saying, you two should have kids together. Because ultimately it's all about reproduction, right? I mean, that's what keeps us, our species going. And that chemistry and that energy field, I think, is, you have to be sensitive to it. A problem sometimes when people use a lot of perfumes, and it kind of masks that natural pheromone, which is certainly not an objectionable smell. I mean, we're not even aware that it's there, but it's most definitely there. Well documented, well researched.
If you are asked to be in a dating show, like a reality TV show, are you gonna be saying yes?
I think it would depend on the show.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Richard. I really appreciate your being over here. I'm sure a lot of young men have learned something from you. Somehow they pick something which is like,
well, that would be
useful.
nice, but one never knows. So
that's right.
I wish everybody the best.
That's right. That's right. Last question for you. I know that you said you're looking for somebody who's sports-minded. Are you also particular with any other thing, aside from their personality?
I mean, intellect, curiosity, wit, athleticism, kindness. I mean, that's really like the checklist.
All right, listen to the gentlemen, ladies.
The old guy. I've been around the block a few times. Okay.
All right. Thank you again, Richard. And for those people who are watching, if you would like to be here in the show, because we are always looking for a resource speaker who's going to be talking about love, dating, and relationships, or if you're single and would like to be able to find how to navigate love and relationships, you just give us a holler and then we'll have you over here. Or if you actually been successful in love, dating, and relationships, we want to also have you over here. Good night, and thank you so much for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.